I go to work like a doctor when I rock the mic.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to LidLine Sports. I'm Granville Emerson, along with my co-host Renault. Pepe Bean, what's up, Pepster?
Hey, what's happening?
What's going on? You're frozen.
Not a whole lot.
Okay, all right, there you are. Hey, what's up, Lil O? Lil O Stevenson?
Here we go.
What's up, man? How you guys doing, man? I keep forgetting that it doesn't work on Safari for me. I have to go to Chrome, so that's my bad.
Yeah, you gotta do that. So, you're looking like LeBron over there with that beard, bro.
Trying.
Hope y'all had a good weekend. Thoughts and prayers go out to everybody in the state of Texas that had to go through what they went through with all that cold weather, man. That was crazy. People found dead in their sofa chairs in their home, frozen to death, man. It's kind of crazy. I was talking to people down there in Houston. They told me that they had to sleep with 4 and 5 coats on. Wow, make it through the night. That's some crazy stuff. And it's incredible that happened during the week, and no sporting events, outdoor sporting events where people would try to get out there in that minus or 16 or 12 degree weather or whatever they were having down there and all throughout the state of Texas. It was coldest in the 100-year time frame for cold weather in Dallas, Texas. So thoughts and prayers go out to everybody in Texas. Big sea change over the weekend. Naomi Osaka beats Serena Williams in the semifinals of the Australian Open, and then beats Jay Brady in the final 6-4, 6-3 to win her second Australian Open and her 4th Grand Slam. So 2 U.S. Opens, one which she beat Serena in 2018, and the U.S. Open in 2020, and now the Australian Open again for the second time. That's 4 for her. And she is now arguably the number 1 tennis player in the world. There's footage of her playing Serena in the semifinals, which is kind of like once she won that, you just knew that she was going to win the championship, right, fellas? Anybody have any
thoughts? My mom's a really big tennis fan.
Oh, yeah.
So we watched this weekend.
So you mean Brady got beat?
Yeah, Brady got beat.
Yeah. And, I mean, it was almost kind of like the passing of the torch. I feel like this was now Osaka's 2-1 against Serena Williams. She's very powerful for how young she is. And, I think you hit it right on the head. Like I said, she's next up. And also, shout out, though, to Serena Williams. Not only is her career not over, but she is arguably one of the best athletes to ever play sports, period. Like I said, her career is still not over. I still think she's the top 5 tennis player for sure. And like I said, I think she passed the torch on to the right candidate for sure.
Yeah, Serena, we're waiting for her to win her 24th Grand Slam.
Yep.
And I think if she does that, she ties for the record of Grand Slams, I think. Want to give out a shout out to Jennifer Brady, her whole name. And Jennifer Brady, she's only 25. And she lost to Naomi Osaka in the finals of the Australian Open. And so, yeah, Pep, he disappeared. It's interesting to see this whole thing play out. Naomi, Serena is known for her power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you see Naomi's got, she's got power too.
Yeah, she got some strength to her.
She's like the second coming, like Serena 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
Right. She's got a long way to go to eclipse Serena.
Oh yeah.
She's got a long way to go.
Like the announcers was saying, like how powerful Osaka was, that Serena was just guessing on where the ball was going to be because, like I said, she didn't have much time to, actually set herself up to play a lot of the balls that Osaka returned. So yeah, she definitely has the power to win.
That Serena broke down after that match emotionally. She felt like she just didn't have it anymore. What was the breakdown?
I don't know. Like I watched the interview a couple times, and the question was, well, I know the first question was about how she kind of gave that. It almost seemed like a farewell that this was her last Australian Open, but then they asked her just like what happened with this match, and she just said I don't know, and just I don't know. I don't know if maybe something personal is going on with her or just overwhelmed by the matchup. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, like your mom said, there she is right there. They all look up to Serena, not for
yes,
Serena, no Naomi, Coco, etc. That is true, Ronda Dorsey.
That is true.
And like you said, as long as Venus is playing, that's who she's calling Aunt V.
Yeah.
As long as Venus is playing, Serena's playing. Pep?
I didn't see the match at all. I just heard about it, and I didn't see the interview. But I can understand maybe the breakdown only because you know how athletes are. You've been on top for so long, and then finally, you start to decline, and you're the last one to see it. But when it actually happens, that's devastating. And that could be part of it. And like Otis said, it could be something personal. We don't know, but I think could be some parts of that, and parts of the fact that she sees the end coming, and it's overwhelming.
Yeah. But even on all of it, she is a gracious champion.
Absolutely.
And so we really respect her and appreciate all she's done for the sport of tennis, and she is a icon. Now on to some nonsense. 25-year Seattle Mariners team president of baseball operations, Kevin Mather, resigned under fire because he was at some Bellevue Rotary Club event where he just he must have had too much of that truth serum. Some people call it alcohol, because he was saying stuff that folks ain't supposed to say. He criticized Julio Rodriguez, trying to say that he couldn't speak English, and that's not true because Julio Rodriguez is very fluent in English. But he was complaining about baseball players that couldn't speak English, and talking about Kyle Seager was well overpaid. That might be true, but you can't say that, and you're the president of baseball operations. And so he resigned under fire. Pepper, you up on that?
Boy, am I. Yeah, I listened to it on 710 and on 950. I listened to his quotes and comments. He started off by saying Seager was overpaid. Then he complimented the whole time. But how are you going to start off with a negative and then you're going to start complimenting the guy? I mean, and he did that with Iwakuma as well. He's talking about he's tired of paying interpreters. What are you talking about? What did he have to drink? That's the first thing I thought of, because it sounds like he'd been drinking.
Yeah.
Just by reading the comments, it sounded like he was drinking, and hearing them made it even worse. And what he said about Julio Rodriguez was terrible. He said his English was terrible. Really?
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
So I want to read what Daniel has up on the screen for the listeners. Go back, Daniel, to where it started. And I quote, this is Kevin Mather. 25 years, let's get this, 25 years, the president of baseball operations for Seattle Mariners. The key word is 25 years here.
Absolutely.
Comment. And I quote, my comments were my own. They do not reflect the views and strategy of the Mariners baseball leadership, who are responsible for decisions about the development and status of players at all levels of the organization. Yes, he is. Yes, it does.
Yes,
Our CEO. That's exactly what it means.
25 years, man. That's your organization. And listen, players aren't privy to going into the office of the CEO and having chit chats and finding out what kind of guy he is. Your executives and managers do. So that reflects on what the players are going to be thinking from now on. Well, what kind of organization is this? How are you going to get free agents? How are you going to get guys to want to stay here? It's damaged almost beyond repair. They're going to have to do a lot of work in order to get this fixed. And listen, their Mariners are already a broken ship anyway. Now it's like having 3 tires and 1 spare. Now you got no tires. Because this is a mess.
Yeah, it's a big mess. 30% of Major League Baseball players come from abroad. That's a lot.
Yes.
All right. And so for the Mariners franchise to be the only franchise that hasn't won a World Series and hasn't been to the playoffs in I don't know how long, this is yet another misstep another step in the wrong direction.
Absolutely.
And so I feel like John Stanton didn't make it any worse. The majority owner, I listened to his press conference, and he basically just regurgitated what Mather said about it not being, the Seattle Mariners. But yeah, it is the Seattle Mariners. If he's been 25 years with that mentality, that's what they've been about. And it may be the reason why they ain't won nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe
it'd be a good reason.
Will be the reason.
And what he said about Kalenic was terrible as well. They tried to sign him to a 6-year contract. Kalenic's a guy who hasn't been brought up yet, and Kalenic has refused. Because he want, he's betting on himself, and so Mather said that he wasn't going to be up here anyway in 2021. He said, "I'll have my big belly out in left field before he was coming up." What?
Yeah, he was on one.
Oh my God!
As we say in the hood, he was on one.
Man,
I think he also said something about Mariners ace Marco Gonzalez. He said he was a boring pitcher because he doesn't throw hard.
Right.
It's like, what, dude? Like,
oh yeah, he insulted Taiwan Walker. He insulted James Paxton.
Yeah.
Who came into the fold saying that he come here with his hat in his hand begging to come back.
Yeah, I feel like he if he didn't have some kind of a mental breakdown, he had to have been liquored up and just felt like he could just speak freely. And after you've been in a position for so long, you think you can do or say anything, and everything's gonna be fine because hey, I'm the man. I can do what I want.
Well, my question is, who did he think he was speaking to? Because he was at the Bellevue Rotary. Okay?
He knew he was speaking to.
Right.
Who's at the Bellevue Rotary Club?
So what made him think it was so comfortable to be able to say all that?
Who's at the Bellevue Rotary Club?
Yeah,
people.
Okay, so you have what he thought like-minded people.
Right.
Okay. but somebody outed him. And in this day, you can't do stuff like that without somebody sharing a video.
How?
And he wasn't thinking about that aspect of it. He just thought he could just tell them people. He probably knows them, right? He probably just thought he could say it and get away with it. But now he's had to resign today. So we'll see what happens going forward with the Mariners. Sad state of affairs.
Embarrassed.
Prime time. Deion Sanders wins his first game. 53-0 over an NAIA school. So it was overshadowed, however, because Deion said at the post-game press conference, I should be celebrating the best moment of my life professionally, but somebody broke into my office and stole all my personal belongings. Then they found out that somebody returned all of his personal belongings. And then they said that they weren't stolen. They were just taken and moved to another place for safekeeping.
Right.
So now the controversy is whether or not Dion should have said anything about it in the post-game presser, right? Because what he says or said reflects negatively on Jackson State University, right?
Yeah.
And so in doing so, I know Stephen A. Smith, ESPN Stephen A. Smith said that he wished that he would have handled it another way and that he would not have, spoke about it at the post-game press conference, but let itself be played out with the security department to find out exactly what went on before accusing people of stealing from him. Anybody's thoughts on that before I give my thought?
Yeah, I mean, I heard about it early this morning. I heard it played on ESPN this morning on the radio. And, I thought, at that time, I said, man, why is he putting it out now? I mean, he should be letting that, the authorities handle that. He shouldn't even be putting that out in the press conference, They should be celebrating his team, had a big win. He should be focused on that.
Yeah.
And then, and the controversy is, he's saying that the stuff was stolen, but Jackson State is saying that somebody had saw it out and put it away for safekeeping so it wouldn't be stolen. And then, of course, he came back and said that's not true, that somebody actually caught somebody in the act. So I don't know what to believe, and like I said, I wish he wouldn't have put it out like, in the press conference. Wow.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds messy. You said it right. That is something that is handled internally and professionally, not through the media. I agree with you guys.
Yeah. Here's my thing. I understand. I think you're correct that he should have waited and found out what exactly went on before announcing it to the press. But shortly after he accepted the job, he had his truck broken into and stuff stolen out of his truck. So I'm sure he was like, "Oh, this is happening again. Every time, people keep stealing my stuff. Like, what's happening?" And so I think that's why he went out there and vented. Right? To me, that's the logical reason. Like, they've already broken into my truck and stolen my stuff at the hotel, and now they broke into my office and stolen my stuff again for the second time, which he said in the press conference. So I think it was emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Even if somebody took it, if somebody saw somebody taking it, if somebody took it and moved it for it to be more secure, and somebody saw somebody taking it to move it to be someplace secure, there's still a hint of doubt on whether they were trying to take it. Right?
Yeah. It's protocol. I mean, if you're going to move somebody's stuff, somebody should have let him know, hey, we had to move your stuff. Don't be alarmed when you get back.
Yeah, they should exactly. They should have told him that when they moved it.
Yeah.
Right.
Or before.
Before, we're going to move your stuff. Or definitely after they moved it, like, we moved your stuff. There's plenty of opportunities. They could have told him at halftime. I don't know when they could have told him.
Yeah.
I agree, Ron, that he does need to think about who he's representing, and that's why I say he should have, in a perfect scenario, found out what went on and talked to the security people before going to the post-game presser and talking about it. everything at the post-game presser should have been football.
Absolutely.
Right?
Right.
And then deal with that other stuff afterwards. And then if you have to put out a statement after that, you can do that. But football, Dion. But, I mean, those are the things that happen when you're a rookie head coach. Head coaching is altogether different from anything. I don't care. It just is. All the responsibility is yours. You're the face of your team, basically, unless you have a star that outshines you. And so he'll learn. And I wish him all the success in the world. And I hope that this does not stain Jackson State University and have people thinking, oh, well, yeah, that's what they do down there. You know what I mean?
And wouldn't it kind of deter him for having so much stuff with him all the time? I mean, it wasn't. Now, listen, I'm only asking a question. I'm not making any judgments. But why you got a bunch of watches and chains and stuff? Now, I get your wallet. Of course, you're going to have your wallet with you and stuff. But why you got to have multiple watches and chains with you all the time? I don't get.
I don't know about any of that. All I know is I heard him say that it was his phone and his wallet, and thank God he had his chains on. So
well, yeah, but he also mentioned he had not watch, but watches. Now I wear one watch. I wear one watch when I go out. I don't need 3 and 4 watches with me. But I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, maybe he had a watch or some watches that he wears, like
practice
dress watch. Take the dress watch off and put on your coaching watch.
Mm-hmm.
Sport watch.
That's why I'm asking, because I don't know.
I know. I don't even wear watches now. I have a bunch of different sports watches. A nice Oakley somebody bought me one time, and playing basketball, and I'm messing around with kids, hooping with them, and they're fouling me, breaking my watch.
Yeah.
So I don't wear watches anymore. I break a bunch of watches, man. The bands are broken on from kids fouling me. They can't guard me, yo. Anyway, you're listening to LidLine Sports on Rainier Avenue Radio App, Facebook Live, and on all of our podcast platforms, YouTube, and what is it? Twitch? I can never remember the other one. Daniel, is Twitch?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, it's Twitch. All right. Sorry, Twitch. I think I got it now. So anyway, before we go to break, though, after we come back from break, we're going to go to NFL Pep Talk. But before we go to break, I gotta talk about the Cam Newton saga. Did you guys see the video?
I just can't believe that blew up international news.
Because it's funny. So Cam Newton, for those of you who don't know, Cam Newton had a football camp, 7-on-7, and brought a bunch of kids in. And so this one kid decided that he was going to clown Cam Newton and kept saying to him, "But you're a free agent."
Yes, it's funny, yes.
But did you watch it? Oh, you watched it, right?
I didn't see the part where he was getting on him. I saw when Cam brought him in to talk to him.
Put the audio, Daniel.
Free agent. Free agent. He's a free agent. Where's your daddy at? Let me talk to your dad. Let me talk to your dad. Where's your dad? You're a free agent. Where's your dad? You're a free agent. You're a free agent. You ass. Talk to. Let me. Where's your dad? Where's your pop? Where's your dad?
All right, thanks, Daniel. He said, "Where your pappy?" Where this kid's dad at? That kid. He kept saying it like, "But you're a free agent." And you know what I was thinking? Y'all ever see, Otis, you might not have seen this. Pep, I know you've seen the jail scene in Trading Places.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen it.
What's wrong with you? You're ignorant? That's what Cam should have said. He should have said, "What's wrong with you? You're ignorant?"
Yeah, I was cool with him, like schooling him. I don't know. I just don't know why Cam got into the back and forth with him before with the initial series, but it was funny. It was definitely funny.
Well, it's one of those things, man, that it actually happened to me today at school. You know, with these young kids now, they get beside themselves, and you got to put them in their place.
Yeah.
Like I had to do a kid like that today. I was like, hold up, you're a kid,
Yeah.
right? And let's get the facts right, okay? So we had a little inter squad scrimmage on Friday, and he came in to lunch talking trash because his team won. I was like, you were supposed to win. You have 4 starters on your team, 2 dudes all Metro. I got basically last year's JV team with 1 varsity player on it. You were supposed to win and barely won.
Yeah.
You was up 2 at halftime. Let's get the facts straight. You didn't blow us out. You won by 6. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, you know, in a setting like that, you know, this kid's talking crazy. You got to be put in his place. The kid actually did write an apology too. So, nobody does care around the Dorsey, but it's media. Media blows everything up. You already know that. Once a video goes viral, folk got to talk about it.
Yeah, for sure.
So we had to talk about it because it went viral. If it didn't go viral, we go. Kind of like my man's dunk.
That's social media for you.
Hmm?
I'll say that's social media for you.
Yeah. What's his name for Cleveland?
You talking about Anthony Edwards dunk?
Anthony Edwards dunk.
Oh, that was nasty. That was nasty.
Yeah, but he was 3 for 14 and 0 for 7 from 3 in the game.
Come on, Pep. You can't put a stat line out there.
That's my point. That's my point, Pep. The dunk went viral because it was nasty. Who cares that Cleveland lost the game? Who cares if he only had 7 points?
Minnesota.
It was the 2 points that he made with that nasty dunk.
Yeah.
That's the way we are nowadays.
That's right. That's a fact.
Don't care. It don't matter what else happened. It's the dunk. That went viral. Not the game. Not the game. Not the game. No, Anthony Edwards probably making money now after that.
Yeah, he got some coach probably from that.
Where is my man Michael? And I thought he would have chimed in on the Mariners for sure. Let Michael Carter know he was missed tonight. I was expecting him to give us some input on the Mariners sitch. Anyway, when we come back, we're going to go to NFL Pep Talk with Pep. And I don't want y'all to go anywhere because he's got some great information that you do not want to miss. We'll be right back with more LidLine Sports right after this. Don't go away.
This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not explaining to my intern exactly what R&B is, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
This is Paul Schneiderman, the host of Sports and Stuff on Rainier Avenue Radio. Sports and Stuff is a sports show that focuses on the game day aspects of sports and also the business, policy, legal, and sociological aspects of sports. Tune into Sports and Stuff and listen to my interviews with athletes, authors, administrators, politicians, and others.
The City of Seattle is looking for a collaborative, innovative leader with experience in growing creative industries and developing equitable opportunities for the economy of the future. The Inclusive Creative Industry Director will help lead the city's recovery efforts that address the needs of Seattle's creative industry sectors, such as music, film, performing arts, nightlife, special events, emerging technologies, and more. We are looking for someone with a background in economic development, experience in the creative industries, and ability to collaboratively center the work in racial equity and social justice. Applications are due by February 23rd. For more information on the position and how to apply, email the Seattle Office of Economic Development at oed@seattle.gov.
This is the news on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Men's college basketball Blue Bloods earned elite status through multiple championships, sustained traditions of winning, and revolving doors of star players through their programs. John Marshall of the AP reports. But a new group of teams has inched closer to basketball royalty and has remained relatively steady, even as the coronavirus pandemic has wreaked havoc on the sport. Top-ranked Gonzaga, number 5 Villanova, and a handful of other programs may not have the historical resumes to compare to the Blue Bloods, but consistent success over the past decade, in some cases more, puts them in a new category of dominating teams. Gonzaga and Villanova have had little trouble navigating the stops and starts of a pandemic season. The Zags have plowed through one of the nation's toughest schedules, beating Kansas, West Virginia, Iowa, and Virginia, all ranked at the time, while turning their conference games into blasters.
And that's your news on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Dealing with COVID-19 is uncharted territory, and everyone has different challenges. People may feel anxious, down, or overwhelmed. For some, these feelings can lead to changes in sleep patterns, an increased use of alcohol or drugs, or withdrawing from the people around them. If you know someone who's having a hard time coping, you can help by reaching out to talk and listen. To learn more about how you can help someone in need, call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-TALK. Brought to you by the state of Washington.
You are listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Don't forget to log on www.RainierAvenueRadio.world.
Hello, I'm Granville Emerson, and welcome back to LidLine Sports, along with my co-host Renault, Pepe and Lil O Stevenson. I also want to let you all know that Rainier Avenue Radio.world is your place for Black History Month. Log on to the Rainier Avenue Radio.world website and find out everything you need to know about the events that they will be covering for Black History Month. Get in the know all about Black history. Rainier Avenue Radio.world is here to help you. All right, Pep, to the NFL. Any game?
With the 2020 season now in the rearview mirror, it's interesting to see what lies ahead for 2021. Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady both have already gone through some surgery. Patrick Mahomes got toe surgery done, and Tom Brady got some knee work done. That was a little bit more extensive than the cleanup that was originally told he was going to have. But of course, right now, Kansas City and Tampa are still odds-on favorites to return to the big game for a rematch. That remains to be seen. It's way too early to tell, so we'll find out. The big thing is right now was where the NFL's March 17th is the free agent and ratification of trades that will become official on and after that date. It would be interesting to see how the quarterback carousel pans out. We already know that Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff, and Carson Wentz have already been dealt. Wentz was dealt last week when we were off the air. Of course, he went to Indianapolis for a couple of draft picks. I think it was a couple of seconds, or a second and a third. I can't remember offhand. Any thoughts of him going to Indianapolis? G.O.
Greto.
You're talking about Carson, right?
Carson Wentz.
I don't know. I mean, he's put next to a great defense, and he has more pieces. But the issue, clearly, when Jalen Hurts took over, that it wasn't. That the issue was Carson Wentz. So I don't see the Indianapolis Colts being as good as they were last year. I definitely think they take a step back at the quarterback position. So, but it's a fresh start for Carson Wentz as well. So maybe he does turn around.
He also is going to have a new number because he will not be able to wear the number 11 that he's been wearing since North Dakota State days. Because Michael Pittman Jr., a wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts, has that number and has already pointed out that you ain't getting it, bruh. It's mine. you might as well find a new one. And of course, he cleaned it up by saying he texted Carson, and he said Carson was very gracious about it, and said he was thinking about getting a new number anyway. Yeah. Okay. But
Well, he
listen,
needs to get a new number.
so
He needs a whole image makeover.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. You
Right.
know, and it's not he ain't Aaron Rodgers or Breeze or Brady or nothing like that where you're gonna give up the number because he's coming. So yeah.
I feel like this is his last stand to be a starting quarterback because he's going to a great situation where he has a really good offensive line and a really good running game.
Right.
And he's got receivers.
Good point.
So he's in a ideal situation
to succeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what does that tell you about how Indianapolis feels about Jacoby Brissett? Is he a free agent?
Yeah, but you got to understand that who's the coach there? He used to coach Carson Wentz.
Right.
So guys always want to bring in guys that they've coached.
Yeah.
He probably thinks that he's the guy that will set Carson Wentz straight and propel him back on the track that he was when he hadn't lost the game, when he was with the Eagles before he got hurt.
Yeah.
Frank Reich.
Yep. So, all right, good stuff. All right, so, with that being said, Deshaun Watson, he's the biggest name out there that, wants to be dealt. Houston has already said that they're adamant about not wanting to trade him. But do you think there's somebody out there that's going to knock their socks off and give them an offer that they cannot refuse?
No.
I agree. I agree totally. I don't see it happening. And of course they've already lost J.J. Watt, and of course the Texans got rid of DeAndre Hopkins last season. So, they're not in a good position right now. Well,
here's the issue too: is they're in this shrunken salary cap year.
Yeah.
Right. So you'd have to take his contract, get rid of players, trade players. It's a lot.
Yep.
To take on him, and then the Texans can't afford to let him go. And like I keep telling people in this whole let's trade Russell Wilson nonsense, that you don't trade franchise quarterbacks. You be the laughing stock of the league.
It's not like the NBA at all.
Yeah.
Correct. So, and the Bears, they missed out on Wentz. So are they going to trade for somebody like Sam Darnold? They might as well keep Trubisky because, they don't have any weapons other than Allen Robinson, and he might not re-sign. And if you don't have him re-sign, what do you got to throw to? I mean, bringing in Sam Darnold is no different than having Trubisky there with no weapons. He ain't got no weapons in New York.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Trubisky and Sam Darnold, they're 1A, 1B to me.
Yeah,
the same problem. But I don't know what the Bears are going to do. That's not my problem.
Right. Yeah, but yeah, but it's just they're just the next targets for needing a quarterback, so to speak.
Right. They might address it in the draft. They might try to trade up, and get a QB in the draft. They're saying that as many as 5 QBs can go in the top 20 of the draft.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think because since the salary cap situation, I do think we'll see a busy trade season, especially around draft time for sure.
Yeah. So other names, that I'm going to throw out there, that could be looking to change would be Derek Carr or Marcus Mariota from the Raiders. There's talk of Tua being moved, but that talk is probably fruitless because they're talking involving Deshaun Watson. I don't see that happening at all. And what's San Francisco going to do with Jimmy G? Because look, San Francisco's primed and ready. Their defense is good. They got a great running game and they got great receivers. They just don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, well, they've invested in Jimmy G.
Yeah.
So I believe they'll go one more year with him.
Yeah, they're probably going to have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. And now, last but not least, You know, people were talking. You know, we got this constant talk about Russell Wilson. You've already embarked on this that you don't trade your franchise quarterback, and I agree with that. But also, if they were to do that, you know, the Philadelphia Eagles already set a record with a dead cap hit of $22 million by getting rid of Wentz. If the Seattle Seahawks traded Russell Wilson with his permission, of course, because he does have a no trade clause, that would be a almost $40 million cap hit. They're not doing that. It wouldn't make any sense. They don't have any. They got
already $30 million over the cap.
Yeah, they got 4 draft picks total. 4. That's it. That's all they got. And they don't have hardly any money for free agents.
Pep, weren't the Seahawks in this situation a few years ago when they only had like 5 draft picks and they turned them into like 11?
Yeah, but I don't know how they're going to do that. They're going to have to work some miracles.
Oh yeah, because they don't have any first round picks.
No.
Right.
Oh yeah, so I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, and then plus, you know, you got KJ that's an unrestricted free agent. Are they going to pay him? I don't know. I don't see how they can.
Yeah.
You know, so you know they might, and you know their only their only 2 trade commodities actually are Tyler Lockett right now. I'm talking right now would be Tyler Lockett and Bobby Wagner. And you know, look, nobody wants B-Wags gone or Tyler for that matter. Yeah. But if you make a trade, those are only 2 guys that's worth that can get you anything back of some value.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so that's about it for now. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I'll tell everybody Russell Wilson ain't going nowhere.
No.
Y'all think that he's going somewhere? You the same folks that think that he's not concentrating on football enough because he's going Hollywood. I don't know anybody that concentrates on football more than Russell Wilson. That dude gives his receivers notes before the game. He gives them a game plan. I don't know.
He take him to California with him and stuff, and Hawaii.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I want to give a shout out to our loyal listeners. What's up, Bill Walker Jr., GQ Taylor, Doreen Ing, Michael A. Carter, there you are, and Andrew Schroeder. What's up? JETS, just all the way on the East Coast, staying up, watching us. We appreciate you. Appreciate all y'all out there watching us on LidLine Sports. Appreciate you too, Mama Dorsey, and everybody else watching the show. Yeah, exactly, Michael Carter. Ask Mahomes. Mahomes was a display for what it looked like without an offensive line. He put that in the display case. Anyway, we're going to segue into the NBA. Lil O, before you get going, I got to ask this question to you. So, can LeBron no longer be considered the GOAT because he keeps passing the ball, making the right decision, I might add, to dudes on his own team that can't make the game-winning shot? Does that disqualify him from being the GOAT? That's what I keep reading on social media.
I wouldn't say all that, but I will say like when you look at the whole legacy of like the Kobe Bryants, the Michael Jordans, they live and die taking the last shot, and you know LeBron James is he's been like this his whole career, which is why I guess I can't knock him for it. He's always made the right play. He's never been selfish in many moments. And in that scenario with the Miami Heat, he got double teamed at the top of the key in the wing, and he kicked it to Alex Caruso, who was wide open, and he missed. But yes, I dropped my head too in the sense because when you're a fan of the game, you want to see the best player take that last shot. So yeah, I was disappointed though, but nevertheless, like you said, it was the right play though.
Pep, you got a thought on that?
I do. You know, you guys hit on it real good when you said that he made the right play, because he did. Now I'm gonna take you back a little bit. Michael Jordan made the right play when he passed it to John Paxson, who hit a shot to win the finals against Phoenix. Michael Jordan hit Steve Kerr for a jump shot to beat Utah. He made the right play. Did he make the right play if they would have missed those shots? Will we be questioning whether he's the GOAT or not? I don't think so, because we know how good Jordan was, and we know how good LeBron is. So it's unfair to say that LeBron is not in the GOAT conversation merely because he made the right play. The guy didn't make the shot. That's not his fault.
Absolutely. They are professionals.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting paid millions of dollars to make that shot. Not to mention, Pep, that social media wasn't around during the Jordan era, but he made the right play and passed the ball to dudes that missed shots too.
Absolutely.
Right? so sometimes dudes make them, sometimes dudes miss them. But let me say this. To me, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, because they blame Kobe for taking the shot.
Yep.
Pass the damn ball, Kobe. That's what people were saying. Kobe was like, why? My field goal percentage is higher. That's the best line ever to me. My field goal percentage is higher than my teammates. Why do I need to pass the ball? But yeah, I think that in this world that we live in now, man, I just read stuff on social media and listen to people talk on social media, and it's just ridiculous to me, man. It's just ridiculous to me. Either you like a player or you don't like a player.
Exactly. That's all it comes down to.
It's not your GOAT. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
Okay? All right,
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of good basketball. Some headlines over the last couple of weeks. All-star starters were announced. On the West, we had Steph Curry, who's having a great comeback season. Luka Doncic, who has played well over the last month and is putting up great numbers again. Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, who was the leading vote getter and the captain, and Nikola Jokic, who was an MVP candidate. And then on the East, we had Brad Beal, who is the leading scorer in the NBA. Kyrie Irving, who is having a really great season for the Nets. Kevin Durant, who will be the captain. And that would be followed by Giannis Antetokounmpo and Joel Embiid, who was also probably the favorite for MVP. Now, once again, we're in this whole Damian Lillard got robbed. And I'm going to say for surely this time, he got robbed. The Portland Trailblazers at the time were in fourth place. This was without CJ McCollum and Yusuf Nurkic. He's a 30-point scorer. And if I had to choose somebody who probably shouldn't have made it, that would be Luka Doncic, due to the fact that his team has not been playing that great this season and are outside of the playoff race, while Steph has the Warriors in eighth. How did you guys feel about that snub?
Yeah, I'm totally in agreement with that. I think Dame should be starter. It's the NBA All-Star game. Maybe I heard a guy say it this morning, and it made some sense. That if you're going to be a starter for the NBA All-Stars, then your team needs to be in playoff contention. You can't be 7-25 and be an All-Star starter. I'm not saying Doncic. They're 13-18 or something. I don't know what they are.
Yeah, they've been making a run lately.
Yeah, right. And he's played brilliant. Listen, he's an all-star. But should he start over Dame Dollar right now? No, I don't think so. Absolutely not. And and Bradley Beal has been tremendous.
Yeah.
But should he be starting because his team is 10-25 in the All-Star game? I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, because Zach LaVine has been putting it on folks, and and his Chicago Bulls are right there in contention. So are you gonna reward a guy for being on a team that's doing well, or are you just gonna be or reward a guy because he's got great stats? So and the fans are the ones that are picking the starters.
Yep.
So
there was a tie between Luka and Damian Lillard, and the fan vote was a tiebreaker.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. I mean, it's the fans. And anytime you have fans stuffing the ballot box, you're gonna have dudes out there that don't deserve to be out there and dudes that are not starting that deserve to be starting. That's the history of the All-Star game. since they started having fans voting.
Yeah.
I mean, you have guys that deserve to be in the All-Star game that aren't. Like, there's no way Zach LaVine should not be in the All-Star game this year as a player.
Please.
Right? And so,
Sure.
and so if he doesn't, then that's a big snub. Everybody knows Dame Lillard is, arguably one of the top 5 players in the league. Right? Yeah. So he should be starting. He should be starting. And then you have what Donovan Mitchell. He's not a slouch. And
they're first in the NBA. Best record in the NBA. No stars.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And so, a lot of it, all-star games, Pro Bowls, all that stuff has a lot to do with the history of the athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And how many fans live where?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So if you live in a city with a whole lot of fans, you should be in there as an all-star and a starter if you're a big time player. That's why I understand why Zach LaVine hasn't been all-star. I hope he's in the all-star game this year because the people of Chicago need to put him in there.
Yeah, I think he definitely has a very good shot at being a reserve. You mentioned Donovan Mitchell. He should be in there. I think those are definitely guys who were probably on that snub list, but will for sure be all-star reserves. I think all-star reserves will be announced this Thursday, so I'll be announcing that next Monday.
Okay.
The Lakers are without Anthony Davis for the next 4 to 6 weeks, who has a calf strain and tendinosis in his right Achilles. And the injury, he actually sat out before with the tendinosis, came back, and he made a jab and tried to go baseline with no contact, and he just felt the pain again, and he's been out for the last week. The Lakers right now are 1-3 without him. That's including 2 primetime losses to the Miami Heat, which was the game that LeBron.
We're also without Schroeder.
Yes, and also without Dennis Schroeder due to COVID protocol.
That probably hurt.
Yeah, that definitely hurt. And they took the loss to the Nets. But yeah, the load now again is heavily on LeBron James at 36 or 37, and he is built for it. But at 37 years old, you want to try to bring down his minutes and usage. But it looks like for the next 3 to 4 weeks, we're going to be seeing a lot of heavy LeBron. I know they're playing well today so far.
I hope the dudes step up like Montrezl Harrell.
This is what you guys got him for.
Yeah, and I'd like to see Taylor Horton Tucker step up too.
Mm-hmm. Kyle Kuzma has so far starting to play better.
Yeah, well, he's got a defined role now that he's bought into.
Mm-hmm.
So a defender and rebounder, and then knock down shots. So that's been good to see. I don't know if Matthews is a bum.
Who? I hear that a lot, and I've been trying to back him, but I was thinking about it. Like, I don't know, maybe like 3 times over the last 2 years, I've actually seen him hit a jumper. So
Wesley Matthews Jr., you're really not a bum. I'm just saying that funny. Just don't get on me, but you need to step your game up. That's all.
Other headline,
looking like any dude at LA Fitness.
Other headline: Draymond Green pretty much blew the game for the Golden State Warriors last night. He did blow the game for them, and in fashion that we've seen from him before. With 9 seconds, Draymond Green, Brad Wanamaker, and LaMelo Ball getting a jump ball situation. In the tip, Draymond Green tried to tie up Gordon Hayward, but refs gave the timeout to Gordon Hayward. Draymond Green fashion blew up and argued with the refs, and not got just 1 tech, but got 2 techs. If the score being 100-98 with the Golden State Warriors up with 9 seconds left, ladies and gentlemen. So in that case, he gets thrown out the game. Terry Rozier gets to shoot 2 free throws, makes them, and with the technical foul situation, you get possession, He knocks down a jumper in the corner to win the game. We know that Draymond Green famously went over technical fouls in playoff series, and he was suspended for one game when the Golden State Warriors were up 2-0, I believe, or 3-0, something like that, against the 3-1 against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they ultimately lost that series.
Mm-hmm.
Dude has to close him. He said today it was on him. He doesn't want to be coddled by his teammates. He appreciates their support, but he knows that was on him. That cannot happen. Some quick news. Minnesota Timberwolves head coach Ryan Saunders was fired yesterday. The Minnesota Timberwolves worst record at 7-24. If that name sounds familiar, he is the son of late Hall of Fame coach Flip Saunders, who coached the Timberwolves from 95 to 2005. Pistons forward Blake Griffin and the Pistons have mutually decided to not play him until they can figure out a way to trade him or a possible buyout. The boy makes way too much money and is not putting up the production, so good luck trading him. And the Cavs have decided to do the same thing with Andre Drummond after they tried playing him next to Jared Allen, who they just traded for in that James Harden trade. Wasn't working, and so far they decided to mutually not play him. There was a lot of rift. Draymond Green made a statement about it, about Andre Drummond just not being able to play the game of basketball while they figure out the situation. I think Andre has a little better market of finding a suitor before the trade deadline. And then also DeMarcus Cousins, who was playing pretty solid while Christian Woods got hurt for the Houston Rockets. They're going to decide to waive him here in the next week. They want to go younger and smaller as they've been fading as well. So, and his contract was just guaranteed last week. The top 5 power rankings this week, the Utah Jazz, who were rolling until they lost to the Clippers. The Clippers have been playing well at number 2. The Brooklyn Nets on a 6-game winning streak. I put them at 3.
Without KD?
What was that?
Without KD?
Without KD. The LA Lakers slid to number 4. And then my Phoenix Suns, who have won, I want to say, 9 out of the last 10 games and are beating the Portland Trailblazers by 30 right now, are on a tear. Shout out to Chris Paul and Devin Booker, who's been playing very well over the last couple of weeks.
Well, do they think they're back in the bubble?
Yeah, they probably know. All right, y'all, we are out of time. Thank you, Lil O, for your report on the NBA. Thank you for NFL Pep Talk, Renault Pepe Bean. I'm Granville Emerson on behalf of those two stalwart brothers. This has been LidLine Sports. Sports as we see it from just below our lid. Holla.
I go to work.
Oh, you aren't the worst.
When I rock the mic, you got to like the way I
They won.